We pump those profits back into the profit cycle to generate even more profits. And I know what you're going to say. Profits? Yes, Stan. You're soaking in.
Hey everybody, how's it going? This is your boy ExtrmWill with Extreme Tech here. We're going to do a video taking a look at my salad. I have 25 rigs up and running right now. Take a look at how much I'm earning, how much I could potentially be earning, and what this would make on if I were to be doing like crypto mining with all of these instead. And then in the end we will take a look and run through all of my machines and kind of show what jobs are actually running. If we look at this right now, not very many jobs are running, so I'm hoping we can get through that part real fast. I'm not going to break them all down as well as I've done in the past, but I'll try to do a decent enough job. So the earnings, not necessarily looking that great. This is breaking it down to every 15-minute block. I believe if everything was running and had a job, had a decent job for what it is, I could be making up to about 85 cents every 15 minutes, because these are 15-minute block increments. So I mean, 40 cents I don't think for salad right now in the current state it's in is necessarily terrible. If everything was running at if half my machines were running right now and I was at 40 cents, I think I'd be pretty happy with it. You start looking at some of this stuff and it's, if I'm at 12 cents, we're talking 15% of what I have running. 20 cents, that should be, is that about a quarter? So maybe 25% of what I have is running. If I'd like to be over that 50% would make me much happier. We have some stretches here where stuff is going, and that's a little bit better. So you can see the earnings are kind of all over the place. This is the last 24 hours broken down into 15 minutes. If we look at the last 7 days, the total amount I could be making would be $80 about if everything was running optimally. That's still I ballparked it low. I could have ballparked it a little higher. Some of the machines, I figured I ballparked it a little low. I ballparked all my 40 series cards, just all my 40 series and my 3090s. I ballparked them all at about $5 a day, even though the 40 70s can do $7, just to make up for if the 4060 Ti is only making $4.50, I figured I would undercut it and just average it out at $5, because I only have one 4070 Ti. But the 40 series cards, a lot of them sometimes, the 40 series cards with the 12 gigabytes of VRAM or the 16 gigabytes of VRAM, they don't always make 5. Sometimes they make $4.80. And then with all of my 30 series cards, I ballparked them all at $2, but I think I had 3 extra machines, so I probably sandbagged another $10, but that was to make up for just the sheer volume in case some of them are running lower. I thought it was a fair enough way to do it. I thought $80 was pretty reasonable for the 25 rigs that I have. But as you can see here, I'm not remotely close to being at 50%. This is probably the closest day I've had recently, where everything was going pretty good. I was making the videos, and then right here is where we lost. Actually, I think it was in the middle of this day is where we lost power later on at night. And I think, we lost power completely. So everything had to be reset and restarted. So then all of the longer jobs I had, I lost. And it took a little bit. And then I think I had another power hiccup the next day. I still don't think the electric company has fixed whatever broke that day, because my street lights outside at night haven't turned on yet. I don't even know if the city's aware. I think a lightning bolt hit one of the transformers in the neighborhood. So my power's still not really consistent. It's looking like it's getting a little bit better, more consistent. So I'm hoping that everything will keep running. But yeah, my maximum I could be making is about $80 a day. But we'll say, so for right now, yesterday, I'm just going to call that $20 to make this easier for stuff. If we look back at the last 30 days, do have a little bit here. This is still, I think this run right here I want to say I still only had 18 machines running right here. And then I thought for sure when I went up to 20 machines, for sure I'd be breaking that $40 an hour mark. So this is 18 machines. And then about here is 25 machines. So my growth has not gone quite as expected, but it's not necessarily terrible. We'll get into that here in the next one. But you can see it was doing a little better, it gets done a little better, I lose power, and then it's not quite as good. But if we estimate that I was at about $20 a day. So here we are on hashrate.no. I put all my GPUs in here. I have 33090s, 23070 Ti's, 14070, 14060 Ti, 53090s, 33080s, 33070s, 33060s, 23070 Ti's, and 23060 Ti's. This is what I have running on it right now. We come down here and hit calculate, and we'll scroll back down. Oh, so this literally just changed over when I was looking at it a couple minutes ago. Now this one's going to be, I guess, a little bit different because this, I don't know what this is. This looks like this is taking like almost no power at all. I could potentially be making, I wouldn't even be making, I could potentially be making at 15 cents per kilowatt hour. I could potentially be making 60 cents a day with the number one most profitable. Or we'll come down here to this number two more profitable. Ooh, wow, actually this one may even be better. I didn't even realize this because I think this is an actual real coin that's been around for a little bit. So this says still like the best I could do if, like, let's say I had free electricity. The best that this could be earning me right now would be $13.23. So that's still the best I could be doing on crypto right now is still just pure profit. It'd still be $7 a day less than the vast majority of all of my equipment running on Salad. But that's not even into like this last category here. We figure out how much you're actually profiting. Because if I would look here, like I'm not drawing 4,000 watts. I think I'm using about 15. So this is about 1,000. So this says it would be about $1.28 plus this. So I think I'd be at about $2 right now because I think I'm at about 1,500 watts. Now, when I calculated out, that was 1,500 watts with everything running. So right now with everything not running, I think I may be a lot closer right now to just this $1.28 right now with so many of my machines just sitting. So the total profitability, if I'm looking at closer to $2 a day max for electricity, to right now I may be at like $1.50 or less than $1.50 for electric right now. I'm looking at right now my Salad is profiting about $18 a day to $18.50 a day about. I mean, these are very rough estimates. So it's still blowing all of this crypto mining completely out of the water. It's definitely not as good as it could be. I'm excited to see right now. I'm hoping either Salad can get everything together and I can start making closer to that $80 mark, or somebody else can come swooping in and just decimate Salad's profit earning and I can get on the new network, whatever new network it winds up being, and I can take advantage of it. I know there's a lot of people out there doing AI work, so I'm hoping we can, take advantage of it. I have my system, I think, all set up to be able to pivot pretty quickly. So, but even without it, I think the $18 a day is not that bad. It's still amazing compared to what it would be doing with any other crypto mining. So I hope that was somewhat coherent. Yeah. So if we go to the next thing, so it's definitely more profitable right now than crypto mining by far. I'm not using anything for electricity in comparison. I mean, I'm probably using a little over 1,000 watts. So if I was actually crypto mining right now, something that would be about 1,000 watts, I would be losing. Says I'd be losing about $2.40 a day, whereas instead right now I'm making like $17 to $18 a day, $18 a day. Yeah, so I could potentially, if Salad gets everything running, I could potentially be making, even if we say I start running a little bit more electricity, $75, $80 a day, depending on exactly what the jobs wind up looking like. So I think the Salad AI right now is definitely a better fiscal decision than trying to crypto mine. There is, of course, a chance that one of these garbage coins could go to the moon, and there's a big chance too that they may not. There's a much larger chance they will never do anything. So I think I'm liking Salad AI. That's kind of how I justify still doing all this. I'm still running a big profit. I just can't afford to expand until this starts showing some kind of profitability. I may still do some stuff, but we'll see. So here's basically a rundown of all my machines. Everything is all classified by how many cores it is. So I have 20 cores, 16 cores, all these BC PCs. These are the Brandon Coin combo kits for the most part. These are all 12 cores. And then I have, let's see, these Ds, these are all 8 cores. X's are all 6 cores. Yeah, this gets a little confusing here. I tried labeling everything a little easier for me to figure it out. And then these Z's are all 4 cores. So let's go to the top. Let's take a look at what we have. I can't open all of them up at one screen, so we'll have to go back and take a look. So this is my 4090 on 20 cores, 128 RAM. It's like $1.82. That's a little disappointing, but whatever. It is what it is. So my next, this is 20 core. I believe this is a 4070 Ti, 128 RAM. I'm probably going to go through and knock all these down to 96 gigabytes of RAM. I just don't see a reason to touch anything right now. It's not affecting profitability. I don't need the RAM for anything, so I'll just leave it all as is, and then when I eventually start working on stuff, we'll see if I need to do anything again. I think I can only build one more rig coming up, so it doesn't really matter. So Skynet here, we are on a 3090 with 64 gigabytes of RAM, 3090, 16 core CPU. Right now this is doing $4.89. So here we are, we start the 12 cores. So the next 10 are all 12 cores, 128 RAM, 4090, $5.60. So this says it's actually using 70 gigabytes of memory right now. I believe they were talking about this the other day. This is part of an Air, so I like the idea of having 96 gigabytes of memory in all my machines if I can, just in case this happens where it's bloated. I would rather run this job right now with bloated memory than risk dropping this job and not getting it because so much stuff is calculating. So I think 96 right now is kind of the sweet spot. I haven't seen anything really get above 70 because this is actually a 40 gigabyte job, because I believe 40 gigabytes is the most they will allow, but there's some kind of error in the software, so it'll bloat up. So just to make sure I don't drop the job, even though there's like an error in the code, I'd rather keep the job. So I think 96 is actually the sweet spot right now for it, just so you don't have to worry about losing a good job that you could potentially have. See, so let's get to this next one. I believe this is my next 4090. This is an identical system to the other one we just looked at. This one is currently calculating. So another 12 core, 128 RAM, RTX 4070, $4.52. This one is using 56 memory. So right now, this one I think would still be good with 64. I think with all of these 40 series cards, I think you need at least 64 memory for them to pick up the bigger jobs where you get to like the $4.50 to like $5.20 jobs. I think they need at least 64 memory in order to do that. So it might be able to pick them up with less, but if you do have less and then it bloats up like this one did and that other one did, then you're going to wind up dropping the job, and somebody else is going to wind up getting it. So I think 64 is your best, most ideal way to run it, so you don't have to worry about issues like that. See, there's a 4060 Ti, 128 gigabytes of memory. It's not doing anything. 3090, 64 memory, not doing anything. Why is this one not up? So we're at another 3090, 12 core, 64 memory, not doing anything. Oh, I thought I had these all up already. 4070 Ti, 96. I think this is a sweet spot with the 96 memory, just so you can cover bloating pretty well without really wasting money, I don't feel like. Let's see. So, yeah, this one's not doing anything. It's just calculating. 3090, 10 cents. Yay, 96 memory. I just let these run out. When you finish the job, all it does is improve your score, so you're more likely to pick up another job. I don't think it's that big a deal when you run them. As I discussed, I mean, even with 25 machines, I'm not using that much in electricity, so I think this 10 cents is still better than calculating, because it's just not using any real resources. So, I mean, breaking even is better than losing, so I don't think they're that big a deal. Just let them finish and hope it improves your score enough where your next job winds up being much better. So this machine doesn't make a whole lot of sense. I started running out of good cards. So I have a 3080 here on 12 core with 64 memory. It's doing $1.76. So this is the exact same job I was seeing this do on a 4 core with 32 memory. I haven't really seen much of a real benefit. I guess I have seen a little bit of a benefit with the smaller 3060 card, or smaller 30 series cards. I've seen them get up to like $2 and like 20 cents or $2.40. I've seen them make a little bit more if they have 64 memory, or they can potentially make a little more. So I don't think this one is really taking advantage of the memory, but it is one. Well, it still would need this too, because it's at 30. Yeah, so without 64, I couldn't even have picked this up. But if they're paying for the more memory, like this could potentially, I think, do like $2.20 or $2.40. I haven't seen it on this one yet, but we might see it in some of the other ones coming up. I was showing it on my 3060 with 64 RAM, I think, and I think I've also showed it with the 3070 Ti with the more RAM. So this 3090, 128, this one's not doing anything. Calculating. 3060, okay, so now we're into my 8 cores. 3060, 32 RAM. This machine, it seems like I need to Google the not Google. I need to go into PC Part Picker and look at the actual motherboard on this one, because this one was running one set of my 64 memory, but it's not running all of them. So I don't know if this one just needs a lower speed 64 memory for the specific motherboard. It's only allowing me to do 32, but for right now, while it's just a 3060 in there, I think that's fine. Still just calculating anyways. 3060 Ti. This one was running for a while, and then when it lost power, it stopped working. 3070 open air. I do have, I think one of these is running. I don't know if it was this one or if it's the next one. So we'll go to the next one here. The next one is here. This one's running. This is, I think, the first 3070 job I really saw running. So we're on 8 core, 64 memory. 3070 can get a job. It's probably, I imagine it is really, really the slimmest of slimmest pickings probably for the 3070s, because I believe that is what the majority of people trying to do this actually have. It may be one of the more overpopulated cards that I can't imagine are really going to get a lot of work because of how popular the card is. But it's doing $1.20. So for right now, like eventually, I guess I would like to upgrade these cards. I don't really want to sell my 3070s, so I don't know. I gotta figure out what I want to do as far as growing and expanding. But it is working. but it is pretty rare. Let's see if I can get into the rest then. So that was, I believe that was D4. Alright. So then we're going to get into my 6 cores. I can only have 20 opened at a time. And then once I get past number 20, it starts getting real kind of glitchy here. So I got to open these really slow. Remote Chrome does not like it when you're doing more than 20 at a time. I don't know why it's not built out for insane people like me. Let's see. So we are on a 3060 Ti, 32 memory, 6 cores. It is just calculating. 3060, 64 memory. Going $1.42, which is better than just calculating. I want to say I've seen this go above $2. I saw this go above $2 on one. I think that still only had 32 memory, but I don't remember. I don't think I recorded it because I didn't have enough machines running. The 3070, 10 cents. So just let those run, improve my runtime score. This machine, I'm still kind of having some problems with. I don't know if it messed up with us losing power or whatnot. I do have to check this one a little more often than I check the rest of them. It's not currently running. I'm assuming my runtime on this one is completely messed up. This one has a big problem too with the defragmented memory, where it keeps coming up and saying the GPU doesn't have enough memory. Like, it hasn't mattered what GPU I have in this machine either. So it's the only one we have in the house. This is the one the printer is hooked up to. But I think running a 3070 on it, if it gets work, it gets work. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I think that's fair enough for me. Okay, 3060 Ti. This one, the video output is dead in the card. So just being able to run it in general, I think is pretty decent. Not currently making anything. This machine's done decently enough, so runs about 50% of the time. So if it could all start running 50% or better, that would be awesome. But I think that's a problem with lack of work. So 3060, I believe this one too, this one also has a dead video output, and this one is running on DDR3. So this is like a 10-year-old computer. So you can get jobs. I've seen this one do up to like $1.80, $1.90 on the 3060. It's probably one of the ones that's gonna have the hardest time trying to get a job because it's not as well spec'd out. So it's in line. It gets jobs. It's not necessarily as often. And these two were anchoring everything down. These last two, they're both pretty much identical. They're both RTX 3080s on the i3 10 series, 4-core, 32 memory, 3080s. Yeah. They're both identical. They were holding jobs down real solid, and then when I lost power, they lost their long jobs that they had. They had both been running for weeks. So a little disappointing that they lost those really long jobs, but they did get to do the update on them. So hopefully they can just have sufficient enough runtime where they can pick up other long ones. If not, these 3080s, maybe some of the first ones I trade in through Newegg. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's kind of what the salad earnings are looking like right now. Go back to this. Yeah, good. 24 minutes. Not too bad to cover that much material. Yeah, if you want more salad material from me, leave a like button, subscribe. Right down to the bottom, kind of anything you want me to expand on, and I'll try to do my best to make videos on. I'm back to work now, so it's kind of hit or miss on when I can make videos. I don't want to make videos that seem useless. I don't really want to do videos where I'm showing, oh, look, 80% of my machines are calculating, but I do understand the guys still want to see stuff like that. Like, I still kind of want to see that every couple of days, see, like, how is everybody else doing? Like, is it just my machines that aren't running? Is it everybody's machines that aren't running? I mean, I think mine shows a pretty big scale and wide variety of stuff, so, like, I would love to watch my videos if other people were doing these. Brandon Coyne does some every once in a while. I think he tries to do an earnings video like once a week, throw it in there in between with everything else that he's doing. So I appreciate those. But yeah, kind of like looking at it. But if you still look at it and calculate it out, like how much I made versus how much I'd be making on crypto mining, I think this is still, as bad as this seems, this is still pretty amazing compared to some of my other options. I haven't heard anything about another real AI one that I'm interested in looking at yet. If that changes, I'm constantly trying to look and see if I find something that looks really good. I don't want to get on one of the platforms where the only way you make money is by undercutting your competition. I think that's bad in general for the community. So I'm not a big fan of like how vast AI is set up, and I want to say I think Chlor might be set up the same way, where you say how much you want to charge it for, so the only way you make money is by undercutting everyone else. I'd rather have something like Salad where they say, this is how much it is and this is how much you're gonna get, and then you just fill jobs when jobs come in. There's another one that Brandon Coin's on where it's currently a closed thing where they'll pay you whether you're getting work or not, which I gotta imagine, I don't know if that'll be able to even open up, because I don't know how they're gonna go, okay, we're gonna pay, we're gonna pay ExtrmWill to have 20% of his machines running. We're gonna pay him 80% to have his other 80% running. When we don't have work, we can't fill demand, and if a bunch of people all flood into it right away, I have questions with sustainability and how that kind of works. Like, I think if they open their network out without having a very substantial amount of work behind it, I think it's hard for something like that, for a closed network to work, which is one of the things like the Salad Company was talking about in their thing on Friday. If they were to close Salad off so not everyone can just come in and keep adding in as many rigs as they want, it can create its own death spiral where then you can't get customers to fill the work because you don't have the reliability and the network behind it. So I'm going to ride with Salad here for a bit. If something better comes along, I may split half my machines or something, or see how it goes. I'd like to try to keep some on Salad, because I think if something else comes along and half the people leave Salad, I think Salad might overnight become amazing, as long as they can keep all of the work. So we'll see how things go. Right now, I'm not as happy with it as I think I'd like to be, but I'm not that unhappy with it either. So if we go back to earnings for a second here, as I'm taking a look at this, I made $1,200 so far for the last 30 days. I've made $744, of which it's probably another 150 in electric. So maybe I've made about 500, and then I lose the fees. So maybe I actually made, out of that 750 or whatever, maybe I took home, what would that put me at, like 450 $450 for the last month. So it's definitely not enough to cover what I've spent in the growing costs to get here, but it seems better right now than some of the garbage mining I could be doing. So I'm excited to see where the AI growth and all that goes. All right, I'm getting way too far. I wanted to keep this short and simple, and we are way too long. So yeah, if you guys liked the video, hit the like button, subscribe, come on back. If you want me to expand on anything to best that I understand about Salad or AI work, just leave a comment down below, and I will try to. I'll see you guys later. Peace.